Mission 100, Day 124, readings from the Holy Bible, Second Book of Samuel, Chapter 5, First Book of Chronicles, Chapters 7 and 8, and Psalm 27. Second Book of Samuel, Chapter 5. David, king of Israel. All the tribes of Israel came to David in Hebron, and they said, "Look, we are your bone and your flesh. In the days past, when Saul was still our king, you were the only one who led Israel out of in all its battles and brought it back. And the Lord said to you, you shall shepherd my people Israel. You shall be ruler over Israel." Then all the elders of Israel came to the king in Hebron, and at Hebron King David made a covenant with them in the presence of the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel. David was 30 years old when he became king, and he reigned 40 years. In Hebron he was king over Judah 7 years and 6 months, and in Jerusalem he was king 33 years over all Israel and Judah. Capture of Zion. Then the king and his men went to Jerusalem against the Jebusites who inhabited the land. They told David, "You shall not enter here, the blind and the lame will drive you away," which was their way of saying, "David shall not enter here." David nevertheless captured the fortress of Zion, which is the city of David. On that day David said, "All who wish to strike at the Jebusites must attack through the water shaft. The lame and the blind shall be the personal enemies of David. That is why it is said, 'The blind and the lame shall not enter the palace.'" David took up residence in the fortress which he called the city of David. David built up the city on all sides, from the Millo towards the center. David became ever more powerful, for the Lord of hosts was with him. Hiram, king of Tyre, sent envoys to David, along with the cedar wood and carpenters and masons who built a house for David. David now knew that the Lord had truly established him as king over Israel and had exalted his kingdom for the sake of his people Israel. David's family in Jerusalem. David took more concubines and wives in Jerusalem after he had come from Hebron, and more sons and daughters were born to him. These were the names of those who were born to him in Jerusalem: Shammua, Shobab, Nathan and Solomon, Ibhar, Eliushua, Nepheg, Zaphia, Elishama, Belida, and Elipheleth were out of the Philistines. When the Philistines had heard that David was anointed king over Israel, they marched out in force to come after him. When David heard this, he went down to the refuge. Meanwhile, the Philistines had come and deployed themselves in the valley of Rephaim. David inquired of the Lord, "Shall I attack the Philistines, and will you deliver them into my power?" The Lord answered David, "Attack, for I will surely deliver the Philistines into your power." So David went to Baal Perazim, and he defeated them there. He said, "The Lord has broken through my enemies before me, just as water breaks through a dam." Therefore the place was called Baal Perazim. The Philistines abandoned their gods there, and David and his men carried them away. Once again the Philistines came up and deployed themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And again David inquired of the Lord, who replied, "Do not attack the front circle behind them and come against them near the balsam trees. When you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the balsam trees, act decisively, for then the Lord has already gone before you to strike the army of the Philistines." David did as the Lord commanded him and routed the Philistines from Gibeon as far as Gezer. First Book of Chronicles, Chapter 7. Issachar. The sons of Issachar were Tola, Puah, Jashub, and Shimron 4. The sons of Tola were Uzi, Rephaiah, Jeriel, Jamai, Ibsam, and Shemuel, heads of the ancestral houses of Tola. Mighty warriors in their generations in the time of David, they numbered 22,600. The sons of Uzi were Izariah. The sons of Izariah were Michael, Obadiah, Joel, and Ishiah. All the 5 of these were chiefs. Along with them in their generations, according to the ancestral houses, were 36,000 men in organized military troops, since they had more wives and children than their fellow tribesmen. In all the clans of Issachar, there was a total of 87,000 warriors listed in their family records. Benjamin. The sons of Benjamin were Bela, Besher, and Jediel. 3. The sons of Bela were Esbon, Uzi, Uziel, Jerimoth, and Eri. 5. They were heads of their ancestral houses and warriors. Their family records listed 22,034. The sons of Besher were Shemaiah, Joash, Eliezer, Elionai, Omri, Jeremoth, Abijah, Anathoth, and Alimeth. All these were sons of Besher. Their family records listed 20,200 of their kindred who were heads of their ancestral houses and warriors. The sons of Jediel, Bilhan. The sons of Bilhan were Jeush, Benjamin, Ehud, Shenana, Zethan, Tashish, and Ahishadahar. All these were sons of Jediel, heads of ancestral houses and warriors. They numbered 17,200 men fit for military service. Shufam and Hufam. Dan, Naphtali, and Manasseh, the sons of Dan, Hushim. The sons of Naphtali were Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shalom. These were sons of Bilhah. The sons of Manasseh, whom his Aramean concubine bore, she bore Machir, the father of Gilead. Machir took a wife whose name was Maacah. His sister's name was Molilchet. Manasseh's second son was named Zelophehad, who had only daughters. Maacah, Machir's wife, bore a son whom she named Peresh. He had a brother named Shiresh, whose sons were Ulam and Rakim. The sons of Ulam, Bedan. These were the sons of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh. His sister Molisheth bore Ishod, Abiezer, and Mala. The sons of Shemaiah were Ahian, Shechem, Likhi, and Anaim. Ephraim. The sons of Ephraim, Shuthelah, whose son was Bereth, whose son was Tahat, whose son was Eliada, whose son was Tahat, whose son was Zabad. Ephraim's son Shuthelah and Ezer and Eliad who were born in the land were killed by the inhabitants of Gath because they had gone down to take away their livestock. Their father Ephraim mourned a long time, but after his relatives had come and comforted him, he had relations with his wife, who conceived and bore a son whom he named Beriah, since evil had befallen his house. He had a daughter Shira, who built lower and upper Beth Horon and Uzen Shera. Zabad's son was Rephal, whose son was Reshaph, whose son was Tela, whose son was Tanahan, whose son was Ladan, whose son was Amihud, whose son was Elishama, whose son was Nun, whose son was Joshua. Their property and their dwellings were in Bethel and its towns, Naran to the east, Gezer and its towns to the west, and also Shechem and its towns as far as Aya and its towns. Manasseh, however, had possession of Beth Shean and its towns, Tanakh and its towns, Megiddo and its town, and Dor and its towns. In these dwelt the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel, Asher. The sons of Asher were Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriah. Their sister was Sarah. Saraiah's sons were Heber and Malkiel, who was the father of Birzad. Heber became the father of Japhlet, Shomer, Hotham, and their sister Shua. The sons of Japheth were Pasak, Bimhal, and Ashwath. These were the sons of Japhlet. The sons of Shomer were Ahi, Rogath, Zehubah, and Amram. The sons of his brother Hotham were Zophah, Imnah, Shilish, and Amlal. The sons of Zophah were Shua, Hamefer, Shual, Ben Huri, Bezer, Hod, Shammah, Shilsha, Ithran, and Bira. The sons of Jether were Jephunneh, Pispa, and Ara. The sons of Ulah were Ara, Haniel, and Rizia. All these were sons of Asher, heads of ancestral houses, distinguished men, warriors, and chiefs among the princes. Their family records numbered 26,000 men fit for military service. Psalm 27 of David. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom should I fear? The Lord is my life's refuge. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evildoers come at me to devour my flesh, these my enemies and foes themselves stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against me, my heart does not fear. Though war be waged against me, even then do I trust. One thing I ask of the Lord, this I seek, to dwell in the Lord's house all the days of my life, to gaze on the Lord's beauty, to visit his temple, for God will hide me in his shelter. In times of trouble he will conceal me in the corner of his tent, and set me high upon a rock. Even now my head is held high above my enemies, and on every side I will offer in his tent sacrifices with shouts of praise, joy. I will sing and chant praises to the Lord. Hear my voice, Lord, when I call. Have mercy on me and answer me. Come, says my heart, seek his face. Your face, Lord, do I seek. Do I not hide your face from me? Do not repay your servant in anger. You are my salvation. Do not cast me off. Do not forsake me, in God my Saviour. Even if my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will take me in. Lord, show me your way. Lead me on a level path because of my enemies. Do not abandon me to the desire of my foes. Malicious and lying witnesses have risen against me. I believe I shall see the Lord's goodness in the land of living. Wait for the Lord. Take courage. Be stout-hearted. Wait for the Lord. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.